Welcome. With this video, we begin exploring a set of case studies focused on system alignment with Crosslite. Some of these cases have already been published as articles on my blog. But here, I will demonstrate the alignments based in a workflow that I use and recommend for users. This setup, designed by Matteo Magrin, features 6 VIO L210 per side. The low end consists of 8 VIO subwoofers in an LR endfire configuration with 4 units per side. First, expand the sum impulse and sum TF windows, focusing on the first one in particular. In Layer 1, we set the channels for primary alignments, main left, main right, subwoofer left, and subwoofer right, in this specific case. Layer 2 is dedicated to the virtual tuning of endfire configurations, using sub-rear and sub-front channels. Finally, Layer 3 manages front fill alignment, and so the channels main for front fill and front fills external, and front fills internal, if the case. Measurements are performed using VTT4 acquisition. This provides 2 measurements for each channel, the original OG and the windowed version, which reduces noise and reflections. Here, we can see the windowed measurement for the main left channel. First, let's check the 2 main. I call main the line arrays. We will analyze their magnitude responses using the OG traces. It is best to use the original data here, as windowing can erode the actual response when strong reflections occur close to the direct sound. As we can observe, the measurement is affected by a strong reflection, causing a cone filter. However, we don't need to worry about that. Our goal is just to align a sound system for a live concert. You're yet familiar with what a cone filter is and what it does. If you're curious about which surface is causing the reflection, activate the red and blue cursors in the SUM impulse window. Position them on the peaks of the direct sound and the reflection to read the delta time. Half of this time value will help you identify the reflecting surface. Now, we check polarity and phase response for both mains, using windowed traces for this task. Despite some reflections, the trends are comparable, showing the systems are synchronized and aligned. To keep this video short, the same process is applied to the rest of the system, even without showing further slides. The time reference, indicated by the black cursor, is positioned on the peaks for the reading of the phase traces. Right-click on Sum IR window and use the Reference to options to set this up. Moving to Layer 2, we configure the endfire for each block, focusing on one side only. Use the windowed traces and clean up the SUMTF window view by raising the threshold indicated by the green arrow. Since these 2 signals share the same frequency content, we can perform a simple automatic alignment. Just right-click on the Sum IR window and select Optimize/Time. Let's test the summation in both the time and frequency domains. To do this, select Sum and Compound in both the Sum IR and Sum TF windows. Since no front fills are involved in this setup, and all system parts including the endfire subwoofer blocks are verified, we move to the primary alignment at front of house, returning to Layer 1. We are viewing the main left and left subwoofer block. Based on the rising points method you have learned in my videos, Crosslite clearly shows the subwoofers are early and must be delayed, as you can see just by visualizing the linear broadband IRs. However, in this case, we won't apply that method. Instead, we will move forward quickly using the single wavelet peaks energy alignment. Enter the wavelet frequency in the field at the bottom right. Verify that the peaks of the original OG and windowed traces do not shift in time due to excessive reflected energy content. The energy peaks of the mains and subwoofer blocks are shown for the 90 Hz contribution. To speed up the process, since we are looking at contributions with the same frequency content, we can automatically align all peaks by right-clicking and selecting Optimize Time. Now, notice that even though the systems are synchronized in time, a phase offset is present between the main traces and the subwoofer traces. When using Crosslite, we often encounter these dual situations that might not be visible in other contexts. We must determine if we are facing a bastarda case for polarity inversion, or if we simply need to evaluate two different solutions through listening tests. In this case, one option prioritizes peak alignment at the expense of a correct phase trace, while the other optimizes phase traces but sacrifices peak synchronization. Please note, I want to clarify that I do not use filters to manipulate the phase response. In these tutorials, I only focus on pure alignment while using factory presets. And here is the solution that sacrifices peak synchronization for a better phase trace alignment. However, we are still left wondering if we achieved the correct slope. But for now, we have a second option to check. Let's go back for a moment and view only the left side, just for clarity on the screen. We'll keep an eye on the rising points while we apply delay to the subwoofer block to align the phase response, using it as our reference in time domain for the phase trace alignment. By entering the 7 milliseconds value and fine-tuning it after inversion, the rising points appear to synchronize, unless we are falling into the trap of pre-ringing artifacts. The phase traces now show the same slope. A polarity inversion seems necessary. Yes, this could be it, a case of la bastarda. And so, at the end, here's another solution for your listening tests. Theory offers many options, but the field is the final judge. I chose this case because it forces you to explore different paths. Often, solutions that look wrong on screen actually sound best in practice. Upon request, I will send the project link for Crosslite users, so you can practice on your own. I can also provide the text format traces to import into other software that allows virtual tuning, in case you do not have Crosslite. Thanks for watching.